Epic Universe. Oh, why can't you open already? We're getting close, guys. 2025 is just around the corner, and then it's just a hop, skip, and a jump until May. And then finally, Epic Universe will debut to the public. Universal will cut the red ribbon, open the gates, and then it's gonna be a complete and utter shit show. Yeah, the opening for Epic Universe, it is gonna suck. And I mean that full-heartedly. The opening for this park is gonna be awful, just horrendous. I know it sounds like I'm spouting blasphemy. I mean, why would I crap all over Epic Universe even though I've given this park nothing but praise in the past? Well, it's because of one underlying fact about this park. It is gonna be insanely crowded. Yeah, groundbreaking statement, I know. Wow, the most anticipated theme park ever is gonna be slammed. Yeah, I'm sure most of us already knew that, but I don't think we really realize how crowded Epic Universe is gonna be. Again, this is the biggest theme park project ever, hands down. And it's opening in Orlando, the theme park capital of the world. This city gets millions of visitors every year, and most of them are probably going to Epic Universe the second it opens. I can't think of a single park in Orlando that has ever had or ever will have a bigger opening day than Epic Universe when it opens next year. And yes, I know that may be a little unfair to say. Epic Universe will be the only park debut I've ever witnessed. I wasn't around when Islands opened, I wasn't born when Animal Kingdom debuted, but even so, when those parks opened, they were way smaller. Epic Universe is massive. They have so many rides and attractions, and it feels complete. Universal built a ground-up theme park that would probably take a company like Disney 30 years to complete themselves. The only opening I can really compare to Epic Universe is probably the opening of the Magic Kingdom. That was the OG park in Orlando, and it also marked the opening of Walt Disney World, the place that actually gave Orlando credibility. But things have changed since 1971. Magic Kingdom opened during Walt Disney World's infancy. Back then, no one really visited Florida for Walt Disney World, yet. In the 70s, Florida was really known for its beaches. But now, today, in 2025, pretty much everyone goes to Florida for the theme parks. And since Orlando is a tourist hotspot, Epic Universe is not going to struggle for attendance. They're going to have to do their best to crowd control and make sure the people don't, metaphorically, eat Epic Universe alive. But here's the big question. How many people are realistically going to visit Epic Universe? And more specifically, how many of them are going to visit on day one? How crowded is Epic Universe going to be on May 25th?
You are made of stupid.
I'm sure a lot of people are going to visit, but how many are we talking? I'd imagine that most people, they would probably want to steer clear of opening day. Because I don't know about you guys, but I don't like to be crowd crushed. Typically, the best course of action would be to just wait out the hype. Maybe avoid Epic Universe for a week, a month, a year, 2 years, and just pray that the crowds will eventually die down. That's what I would do. But a lot of people are not like me. They want to be part of history. They want to visit Epic Universe on day one. They don't care how many people are going to be there. In fact, they probably embrace the flood of tourists, willing to be smushed and mobbed as long as it means they get to walk through the gates. And for the people who are willing to do this, I have to say, you kind of have my respect. I mean, I would never do this. I would never be willing to subject myself to this kind of torture. Spending over $200 and probably only getting on one, maybe 2 rides. But hey, on opening day, you're really only going to Epic Universe just so you can say that you were there opening day. But to really grasp how many people will visit Epic Universe on May 22nd, I'm gonna try to give you a number. Yes, I'm gonna try to predict how many people will visit Epic Universe on day one. Now, of course, when I first thought about this question, I thought it was gonna be pretty difficult. I'm not the most familiar with how park attendance works or migration forecasting in the Orlando area, but realistically, the only thing I had to figure out to predict the park attendance was to figure out the park's maximum capacity. This is the opening day for Epic Universe, so it's a safe bet to assume that the park is going to reach full capacity. So the only thing I need to do is find that number. My first instinct was to, of course, Google it. But Universal doesn't really release those statistics, so I needed a different approach. And that's when I came up with the idea of acreage. What if I take the total amount of acres at Epic Universe, and then I just find a theoretical capacity by taking the total acreage and then multiplying it by how many people could fit within that space. So the first thing I need to do to achieve this is to find the total acreage. We know that Epic Universe takes up about 750 acres of land, but obviously that number is not for the entire theme park. A lot of it is allocated towards the parking lots, hotels, backstage areas. All in all, Epic Universe only occupies about 110 acres of that land, at least according to Wikipedia. The next thing I have to do is multiply that number by the amount of people that can fit in each acre, and for that value, I came up with a number of around 20,000. I got that number because 1 acre is around the size of a football field, and supposedly 20,000 people can fit within that parameter. So that's the number I'm sticking with. So if I multiply 110 by 20,000, I get, holy crap, 2.2 million, 2.2 gigawatts of people. Yeah, I'm definitely overshooting by a wide margin. This number assumes that Epic Universe is nothing more than a dirt patch, so I'm gonna have to tweak it quite a bit. And to do this, I have to find the true acreage of Epic Universe, as in the amount of space that people can actually occupy. Most of Epic Universe is covered in rides, planters, fountains, basically a lot of infrastructure that takes up volume. So I need to find out what percentage of that volume that guests can actually occupy. But don't worry, I have a simple fix for this. I'm just gonna compare Epic Universe to a park similar in size and scale. And what park is that? Well, it's the Magic Kingdom. Magic Kingdom's probably the closest comparison in scope and possible attendance. Magic Kingdom takes up over 107 acres of land, and it's already the most crowded theme park in the world. So all I really have to do is take the theoretical capacity of Magic Kingdom and then compare that to the actual capacity and then use those two numbers to find a scalar value. So the first thing I have to do is take the 107 acres, multiply it by 20,000, and get a theoretical capacity of 2.14 million. It's the exact same calculation I did with Epic Universe. Again, the value is not correct. It basically assumes that Magic Kingdom doesn't even exist, and the park is just land and land alone. But now that we have our theoretical, all we need is our experimental number, and then we can divide those and find the scalar. Thankfully, we already know the maximum capacity of the Magic Kingdom, over 100,000 people, but for simplicity's sakes, we're just gonna call it an even 100,000. So if we take our experimental value and divide by our theoretical, we get a scalar of 0.0467. What does that number mean? Well, out of the 107 acres of land at the Magic Kingdom, an astonishing 4.67% of that is actually allocated for the guests. Yeah, less than 5% of all of the space at the Magic Kingdom is actually for the people who visit. So if we take that scalar value, but let's round it up to 0.05, and multiply it by the 2.2 million theoretical for Epic Universe, we get a maximum capacity of, 110,000 people. Aw, that sucks. So, if we assume that Epic Universe will be completely filled on opening day, that means 110,000 people will visit. I don't know if you guys have ever been to the Magic Kingdom on Christmas or Christmas Eve, or New Year's, I don't know, it doesn't matter. But those days are the worst. They are the most packed, shoulder-to-shoulder days you can ever get at a theme park. And that is what Epic Universe is going to be like on Memorial Day weekend, assuming that the maximum is 110,000 people. Keep in mind that when I was making the calculations, I was making a lot of assumptions. Epic Universe and Magic Kingdom, they are not one-for-one parks. So to be safe, let's add a standard deviation of around plus or minus 15%. But does this deviation make the capacity any better? No, the park is still going to be packed to the brim. There's no getting around that. So if you are one of the brave people who want to visit Epic Universe on day one, just know this could be your fate. Max capacity is worst case scenario. Even if the park only gets 2/3 of that number, maybe 70,000 people. Keep in mind that the Magic Kingdom usually gets 55 to 60,000 people every single day. That is an average number for the most crowded theme park in the world. If you can handle an above average day at the Magic Kingdom, maybe you can withstand Epic Universe, but just prepare yourself, because if the park does hit max capacity, that will be an indicator of what's to come. Epic Universe could very well hit max capacity for multiple weeks in a row. So get ready, because Epic Universe is going to be insane in more ways than one when it debuts.